Hello, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, I'm back again. Again, it's the 6th of the 2nd, 2017. Excuse me. I keep seeing things on the news that I want to talk about. There's been massive snow in Afghanistan, and it's caused avalanches that has covered entire villages. All the main routes are closed, the main airport's closed. 50 people dead. They've got the army out there. I mean, Afghanistan, massive snow, avalanches, snow avalanches in Afghanistan. This is what I'm saying to you. Think about that for a minute. Avalanches in Afghanistan. I don't know how often it snows in Afghanistan. I'm not up on it, but I could chase it up and find out how rare and how strange that is. Right? Something's going on. It could be weather modification. If they've done it for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's a natural thing that's happened, well, nothing's natural happened now because they've already altered the weather indefinitely now, probably. So whatever we're going to see now probably wouldn't be as if they hadn't started tampering with the weather, with HARP and all these other cloud seeding and all this stuff. It does go on. You know, they can modify the weather. If people say, oh, they can't modify the weather, it's out there. It is real. It is true. They do it. They even do some big concerts and things like that to stop it from raining and things like that. So they can do these things. If it's out there in the public and it's there to be used by the public, they could use it. Like somebody had a concert, Paul McCartney or something, and he pushed away the rain. They can do these things. And so imagine what the military and stuff like that have got. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying to you, that is a bit mad. It's when it comes to global warming, and we've got snow there. I don't know. It sounds strange. I thought it was worth reporting on and letting you know. Well, there's 50 people already dead, and they said there's more people all the time. They're sending in to rescue people. Entire villages have been avalanched over, man. That's what they're saying. You know, and I don't know when this has happened, how long the snow's been falling, how long it's been going on for. You know, but it's been nothing in the news till now. Do you know what I'm saying? And why haven't they mentioned it? The snow in Afghanistan is getting ridiculously big. And where was the first avalanche? It's more than one avalanche they're talking here. They're talking multiple villages covered. I think multiple avalanches. So, and they're not reporting on it till now. They realise at some point they can't keep it quiet, you know, like whatever it is. But anyway, I don't think you'll hear that much about it. I don't know. Because it's probably that part of the world, but... And then another thing on the news, I'm only going to make these little quick. That Karen Matthews, and she sort of planned the abduction of her own child, you know. And then she kept her in, you know, sort of a family member or a friend kept her, hid her in the house. And then was going to collect the reward money, basically. When they offered the reward, someone was going to find her, and then they were going to get the money, and they was going to do that. Now, she's in prison. She's doing her time. I don't know how long she's going to get left. I think they're going to allow her to change her name and everything when she comes out. It'll be the best thing she ever did in the end, because that'll change her life now. Because while she's been in the prison and while she's in that prison, she'll probably get qualifications, and she'll get help from the social system. They'll find her a place to live probably, and they might even, you know, sort her out a job. You know, or she's more likely to get a job, you know, with a new identity and all that. And she'll have all that down on her CV, because they'll have to make up something for her, you see. You know what I mean? They'll have to make up a new life for her, because she goes to an employer, she can't say who she really is. Do you understand what I mean? So they'll make up this fake life, and it'll be she went to school and she did this and she's got these qualifications. And do you understand what I'm saying? So she'll have a better life. Same as the Bulger children probably had better lives after they come out than when they would have had if they hadn't gone in. I'm not saying that's a good thing, I'm just saying that's bad, you know, that it ends up like that. But it only ends up like that because some of these people are so down. They're so down and they feel trapped. Do you understand? Like rats in a box. She must have been, to be honest with you, for your own child like that, she must have been a highly, highly, highly desperate woman with absolute depression and absolute despair in life, you know, to go to those lengths to get money. She must be losing her house, losing her family, up to death in eyeballs up into death. You know, probably you could see where the area she came from. You can see she's not exactly well to do. Trust me, that woman was desperate. And she was just trying to find a way to better her and probably a daughter's life in the long run. Do you know what I mean? It's like when kids send kids off to boarding school and they never see their kids' childhood and stuff like that, hardly. And so it's for their best, in their best interest. But you never have the same relationship you would have had with your children then, would you? You know, you won't be as close to your children as, they might be more successful, but you're not going to have that bond. So anyway, but I'm shooting off at a tangent. But what I'm saying to you is, they'll vilify her, and she's the worst thing since sliced bread. She'll be worse than Saddam Hussein or something like that. But what I say to you is that woman was a desperate, desperate woman. And I don't think she ever intended to harm a child. She intended to get money to help a probably child. You know what I mean? If she'd have got £1 million reward, she'd have probably sent that child to private school. Honestly, it's ironic, isn't it, really? But it's just one thing. But their lives probably will be better in the end. You know, that's like 5, 8 years, whatever it is, out of her life. And then she would have lived a life of misery all that time. Her child probably, I don't know what's happened to a child, whether family members have had her or she's gone taken into care. If she's into care, then, you know, that's not good. But family members and people that really genuinely care about them like a family, probably do better. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully the social services will have been involved at that point with that child, and because it's such a high profile case, they'll have thrown all the stops at it, so she'll have had all the help and the care that the nation can provide if it wishes to. And again, for her, she's probably been re-educated in prison. She's had social workers come and talk to her and see where her life's going. She's going to turn it all around. And if she hadn't done that, her life in 10 years' time, and in 20 years' time, and so on, and so on, her daughters will end up exactly the same as her, but pregnant at 16 or something like that, and she'll be living in some council run-down place, nowhere, no job, you know, job prospects of anything decent to improve your life whatsoever, and she'll be end up in that same position as her mum was, you know, and it goes on for generation after generation with no hope. You know, parents should be there to bring up the children, and the state should help. Do you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, you know, if they've got, you know, 1.something% of the GDP for the NHS, and yet 2% just for joining NATO, all right? There is money and there is capability to do these things, you know? We've just got to get our priorities straight. What do we want more? Do we want to improve people's lives on this planet? Or do we want to create more death and destruction? You know, I would love to see the biggest ever. I mean, you've got 5,000 protesters out for corruption in Romania, and you've had similar amounts all across the world. You don't get reported on it. You don't know what's happening. It's happening every day now. Every day, somewhere in some country, you've got massive protests about this, if not ongoing for ages. Look at, you know, the Wall Street movement, was it, and the Million Mask March, and all these. There's lots and lots of things going on. But none of it really makes any difference at the end of the day. You go back to Iraqi war and Tony Blair. 1 million people marched on London. 1 million people marched on London and said, please don't go to war in our name, thank you. And they went anyway. So what is the point? How many people have you got to have on a march before anybody will listen? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So people are getting to a point where they feel that they've got the right to peaceful protest, but their peaceful protests don't end up as nothing. It's not doing anything. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not getting them anywhere. You're allowed to peacefully protest. Oh, you're free and you're allowed to you know, shape your own lives with your own policies. They're your government. You make the policies in a way. Well, no, we don't. Not at all. Do you know what I mean? And even the people that say, of course we need a defence, we need NATO, we need nuclear weapons. You don't need nuclear weapons, mate. You don't need nuclear weapons. You just want the people of the world to wake up and realise that their governments are taking them to war under false pretences. Nobody in those countries actually wants to fight each other. They're too busy with their own lives. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, gone off on a tangent, but that was it. It's about the downgrading of people's lives and the extent to which people will go to escape their poverty trap. And that's it. So all these people are going to come out, they're going to slater and slater and slater and slater. And I say to you, just have a bit of compassion and see where that woman's come from and how that woman, if that woman, say Shannon, was born into Donald Trump's family, let's just say that for instance, or some well-to-do person, you know, well-to-do as in, you know, got plenty of money, you know, she went to private school and stuff like that. Do you think that if she'd have been brought up, say in a millionaire's family, yeah, she would have ever have done that? She would ever have done that? Does that mean that that act is solely responsible on that person? Or is the responsibility on the bigger society that allows people to carry up and to be brought up and live their lives like that? That's a questionable thought, but most people don't critically think like that, and they think, oh, what a horrible woman, you know, what a nasty, oh, she needs murdering. Because that's the way we've been told, you know. Anyway, quick one, and love you and leave you. Bye.